What's up everyone and welcome to the club. Today I'll be showing you a simple method on how to sketch a dolphin. Welcome everyone and thanks for joining me today. For this lesson I'm going to be drawing with this 0.7mm mechanical pencil with a 2B graphite stick. Now if you don't have a mechanical pencil, anything ever around the house will work just fine. Now the first thing we want to do is define the shape and composition of our drawing before we get into the details. So we're going to draw our dolphin from the side, curving around. So to start at the very top, we're just going to loosely sketch out a circle for the head. And the circle doesn't have to be perfect, we're just using this as a guide. Just working our way around. Now let's move over towards the left side of our circle on the inside. We're just going to curve the body and the spine going across. I'm just going to bend the body, coming around and then back over towards the bottom left. Now from here we're going to start adding a little bit of shape. Let's start with the beak. We're going to start from the left side of our circle. It's going to angle this down and out to right about there. Round up the edge of the beak. Then come down and then back in towards the bottom of our circle. Now I want to draw the outside profile of the body. So starting from the top of our circle, we're just going to bump this up, go all the way around the outside. Now I want to taper this down and then in towards the tail. So the space gets narrower. Again, just roughing this in, doesn't have to be perfect. Just pull that in towards the bottom. Now let's draw some thickness and volume to the bottom. Starting from the bottom of the circle, it's going to add a fold. We're going to come down and then in. Now halfway along this line, right here, it's going to angle this down and then in toward that center line. Now we're going to go halfway along this line right here. It's going to curve the inside of the body, coming down, and again, we're just tapering this out towards the tail. Let's go up to the top right side of the body. We're going to add that back fin. Just going to bend this up and then out. Just adding the basic shape. I'm just going to modify this later. Just draw the back side coming back in. Now let's add some shape to the tail. From that center point, I'm just going to split this off with a curve going around and out on both sides. And I'm just going to bend this back down toward the tip of the tail. Let's draw the top of the tail. From here, it's going to bend this up and then in. And I can continue that curve going around towards the bottom of the tail. Now we're going to go back up to the top. We want to locate the eye. We're just going to follow this curve to right about here, just on the inside of the right side of the circle. Draw a small circle right in the middle of the eye. Let's continue following this line down. We're going to draw the base of the fin with an oval. Now I want to create an interesting silhouette to the body. So we're going to pull this fin out towards the side so it sticks out. So let's start from the left side of that oval, curve the fin, coming down and across the body, and just pull this out past the edge of the body. Let's curve this up and then in towards the oval. Now right here, we're just going to bend this up to the right side of the oval. Let's line this oval over towards the left side underneath the head. We're going to draw the back fin. Start with the outside, curve this out and then down. Bend this up and then in. We're going to add another curve, going around and in underneath the body. Now that we've completed the rough sketch, I'm going to go back and clean this up by erasing some of these guidelines. And once we clean up our drawing, I'm going to use this rough sketch as a guide to help us layer on some more details and refine the shape. So I'm going to start with the eyes. Starting with the eyelid, just adding a fold along the top and the sides. Go all the way around the bottom of the eye, and then up. Now from the eye, I'm just going to add a couple of wrinkles on the outside, and then a highlight along the top right side. Let's lightly shade the inside of the eye, going around that highlight. Now from here, it's going to work our way across towards the beak. I want to add a little bit more shape, going out towards the mouth. Let's add that seam across the mouth. We're going to come across and then down. Pull this up. And just curl that down, just underneath the eye. Now right here, it's going to add a fold going across the beak. I'm just going to protrude the lower jaw, going out a little bit. Pull this down and in. And I want to add a little bit more shape to that bottom of the beak. Coming around and then down towards the chin. Bend this around and up on the side. Now we're going to add a little bit more shape to the top of the head. Then add a fold And then draw the back side of the body. Let's enhance that fold. Now I'm going to add a little more shape to that fold along the bottom. Just bending this around and then down toward that center seam. And we're going to add some more shape to that back fin. Now I want to remove that sharp point. So we just want to round that out. Pull that up and in. Then round out that inside point, going up underneath the body. Let's go to the base of the fin on the right. We're just going to add some folds going around the outside. Let's just continue across the back, work our way down towards the tail. Now we want to go back and do one final cleanup before we add some more details and shading. Now once we clean up our drawing, I want to go back and use the side edge of my 2mm pencil and just add some soft shadows. So we start with the beak. Now you can see that I'm leaving a little bit of a gap along the outside to create more of a glare effect. A little bit of shine across. Adding a shadow just underneath that fold. And across the top of the head. Now with this fin, we're just going to add a dark shadow along the left side. Again, leaving a little bit of a gap and just fading that down. And we're just going to fade that shadow coming across towards the bottom. And we also want to go a little bit darker with that shadow across the top. That shadow is cast from the body. And then along the front edge of that front fin. Now we're just going to go back and add some contrast to our drawing, starting with the eyes. Just going to darken up the inside. And I'm just going to darken up the outside lines, adding a little bit of thick and thin lines. Now I'm just going to go back and enhance some of that reflection and shadow. Just adding some darkness to the ends. Now this shadow across the body, because it's closer to the fin up at the top, the shadow is going to be darker. And as it gets further away, we just want to fade that out. Now, as we get closer to the end, we're just going to tighten up our shadows and details, and always be sure to sign our artwork, and that's pretty much it. There's a sketch illustration of a dolphin. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. I want to thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one.